So
There's one.
there you go. That'll work. So
All right.
here we go. A pledge of allegiance to the flag
Flag
of
of
the United States of America
America,
and to the republic
for
for
which
which
it
it
stands,
stands,
one nation, under God,
God,
Indivisible,
with liberty and
justice
justice
for
for all. Okay, thank you very much, Ron. Appreciate that. Okay, so where's our wisdom person? Oh, there you are, Harold, over there. Hi.
Good morning or good
Morning,
afternoon.
Harold.
I have something a little different today, but I think they can be very powerful if you let them. I ran across this someplace, I don't even know where, a whole series of statements that start with, I've learned. So they're just little tidbits of wisdom, almost like bumper stickers. But if you get past the brevity of them and let them kind of soak in, I think you'll find them very useful pieces of wisdom. And I'll just use 3 today, and you'll probably see me come back with them later. I've learned that being kind is more important than being right. I've learned that when you harbor bitterness, happiness will dock elsewhere. I've learned that having a child fall asleep in your arms is one of the most peaceful feelings in the world. So I think those 3 are sufficient for today.
Very good.
Good job,
Great.
Harold.
Thank you.
Again, good job. Okay, well, what did we have? Roger, do you have something or anything you need to chat with everyone about?
Well, we had the board meeting prior to this one, and some of you are familiar with a project we do at Jeffco Schools called Jeffco Eats. And Barb Moore is the leader of that. She's spoken to our club in the past. And she's asked us whether we would like to do a 2-hour session in front of the King Soopers at Florida and Kipling, asking people to donate to the Jeffco Eats Food Bank. And the board has said that we'd like a few more details, but it's something that we would be very interested in doing. So look for further details on that. We think it'll probably work kind of like the bell ringing does at Christmas in front of King Soopers. So we will know more about that and probably be doing it in the future.
Anything else? Okay, Bill Graff, our VP, what would you like to add to the beginning of the meeting?
I think the thing we discussed as coming up with in October after Cider Days is another session out on Union Boulevard, cleaning up our street. So more will be said later, but that's after. It's Roger said it's October 19th, and October 23rd is a backup date for if there's bad weather. Roger will be sending more information out, but I think most everyone has spent some time working on one of the teams picking up on Union Boulevard. So that's the next time, October 19th, and the intention being that we would do that. It's what, 10 to 11:30, I think, Roger. And then
we start at 9 o'clock at that parking lot at the southwest corner of Union Boulevard and 2nd Avenue.
Okay.
And then we do everything from 6th Avenue, Denny's, down to Alameda.
Okay, Roger, can you email me those times and the date, and I will get it on the webpage?
Okay, it's already in
Thank
the
you.
calendar.
It is, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, can you take it from the calendar and show it on the webpage?
I can probably, if not, I can reproduce it.
Okay. Yeah, it's scheduled from 9 to 11.
What's the
Okay.
date?
the Tuesday, the 19th, which would mean we do it before our meeting. And then backup is Saturday, the 23rd.
All right,
But
okay. All right then. All right, anything else for the general meeting? I think,
who's, can somebody calling in on the phone with the phone number 720-237-5553, who are you?
Linda,
Oh, Linda, but you're
can
already,
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
I don't know what's going on with my iPad, but it seems like I cannot get any voice. It isn't just this meeting, it's other things.
okay,
So
okay. So we do see your video in one square, and then we see the little phone icon. Okay,
yeah,
very good. Thank you. Good to have you.
it's way above my technological skills
Well,
here.
I think you've done a great job solving that problem.
yeah,
Yeah.
you solved your problem, that's for sure. Okay, well, good. All right. Good enough. I think, other than that,
Carol, do you have a quick report on your general health, but also we really would like to know what you can tell us about the peach sale.
Oh, unfortunately, yeah, I haven't had a lot of energy to put into it. Because of some of the things that happened on that day, I'm going to have to go through every receipt to figure out which ones were charges and which ones were checks. I do have copies of all the checks, so I can just eliminate those. And in hopes of verifying any fees that PAYA will be charging us.
Okay.
So it's gonna take me a while because I can only be moving so much during the course of the day at this point.
All right. Just
all right. Thank you.
Welcome. I did it a lot faster last year, but we didn't have COVID.
All right.
all right. We
Sounds
understand,
good.
certainly.
I think, Megan, do you want to start your presentation? And then that way you'll have time to go get your parents.
Sure, I'll see what I can get done in a few minutes. I'm going to try to share my screen, and I'm sorry, it looks weird.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to do this one.
Got it.
Oh. For a minute there.
Is it working?
Yes.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I hope I'm not going to bore you guys with a big slideshow, but just kind of wanted to let you know what I'm doing in my new job. So I am, if I can get this to work for me. All right, so I'm a magistrate in Jefferson, which is part of the 1st Judicial District, which is Jefferson and Gilpin counties. And I'm just curious, does anybody know the difference between a magistrate and a judge?
No.
Okay, so in Jefferson County, in a lot of our districts, and there's multiple counties, I think we're the best because we're the first. But what happens with judges, all kinds, like district and county court judges, they get appointed by the governor, and then they stand for retention. And magistrates serve at the pleasure, the leisure of the chief judge. So the chief judge of the 1st Judicial District is Jeff Pilkington. So he hired me. And what my role is primarily is probate. So I do all the mental health hearings as well as protective proceedings, which is conservatorships, guardianships, and I do a lot of interesting things within the probate realm. So I'm just going to kind of tell you about my major two things that I do. As far as conservatorships and guardianships, Jefferson County has the highest aging population of all counties in Colorado currently. So we anticipate, and the need for my job was kind of to carve that out, to have somebody that does that primarily. These are the numbers from 2018, 2019, and then kind of projected 2021. I did get these like last month from our clerks. So we will expect some growth. The next chart just kind of looks at the different kind of proceedings and where we are right now. So we are expecting kind of a steady like uptick with both of those, guardianships and conservatorships. Obviously, guardianships are where somebody comes in to assist with all medical requirements. Could be for adults, could be for children. Conservatorships handle all the financial side of that. I also do all the mental health case filings. I was really curious to know kind of with the pandemic, how that's affected our residents this year. We are expected to have more mental health filings, and this kind of gives you a breakdown of the kind of cases I do. I deal with alcohol and drug commitments, as well as evaluations, long and short-term commitments, and involuntary medications. And if you see, there's one called like COV, that's just change of venue. So that means either coming in or out of our county. And that kind of gives you a projected overview of what we're looking at in 2021. Short-term certifications, I think, are on the end of that. So any questions so far?
What, are you going to talk about what a short term is?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What do the different colors stand for?
On that one, the years. So it's from
Oh.
2018, 2019, 2020, and then here's where we are in 2021. But this was back in, I want to say, the end of July of 2021 when I had that. So we're up a little bit. Even as this morning, I had a pretty early hearing. So the numbers are up just a little bit. So with mental health, it is all under the statutes under Article 65. I think I put a couple cases in here, but hopefully it won't be that wordy for everybody. But I really like what I look at as a judicial officer is balancing rights and protecting people with the need for them to get treatment. And so I like that kind of states it out pretty easily that I think first and foremost, protecting the dignity and the legal rights of the patients. And then I get to decide if they should remain in treatment and sometimes involuntary medications can be issued. We always have a hearing with involuntary commitments unless the respondent who gets an attorney will stipulate to that. But there is due process and making sure that they understand their rights and have an opportunity to in these cases. So what happens usually is somebody's on a hold, which is 72 hours without court intervention. And then if they're past the 72 hours, they will file everything in the county in which the respondent resides at that time. And then once that happens, they have to be in to the court within 48 hours of that decision by the doctors. And then we have to get it in front of the court within 10 days if they request a hearing. So it's a very short timeline. Certifications are 90 days. So I think it's important to get them in as soon as possible. They also have, they can request a jury trial. That's a jury of 6 people. And I will tell you, as magistrates, we do not do jury trials. So that would go to the district court judge in this county. So I would do all of the court alone hearings. But I just really like these gentlemen look really, really interested in this jury trial. And there's more than 6 of them, but I liked the picture. So the burden of proof is on the people, which is the county attorney. And they will bring the, where'd I go? They will bring the case, they will call witnesses. Usually the respondent will testify as well if they're not in agreement with the hearing. But I have to find by clear and convincing evidence that not only is somebody mentally ill, but because they're mentally ill, they have to be a danger to themselves, others, or gravely disabled. And that is all defined under the statute what that means. So the medical professionals, usually the psychiatrist, are the ones that are asking for the certifications. As the judicial officer, the court, I can't release people and I can't certify them on my own. So that's something that is brought to us and they make those medical decisions. I can also authorize an emergency evaluation, and that is in special circumstances when the burden is met, that a person can be brought to a facility and evaluated to see if they, at that time, do need to be on a short-term certification. I also can just decide involuntary medications, and these have additional procedures and a different additional 4-part test to them because it is a deprivation of liberties, and it is actually saying that somebody can force medications on you. And there's lots of case law, there's lots of tests, but here's the 4-part test that I would have to find that they're incompetent to effectively participate in treatment decisions. It's necessary to prevent significant and likely long-term deterioration, no viable less alternatives, and any objections are overridden by compelling interest. And I'm just going to pause for 2 seconds because my parents are in the hallway. So I'll be right back.
By the way, I will just say that if any of you, if you're not, are not speaking, if you could mute yourself, because if there's a little sound in the background, that interferes with what Megan's saying.
Yeah, we're hearing some background noise.
Yeah. And you can unmute yourself. I'm sure she'll have time for questions.
Roger, can you hear me? But I can't hear the meeting. This is Linda.
Hi. You can't
can
hear
hear
the
me?
meeting?
No, except through my phone. I'm just checking, my iPad. It just, I don't know if it seems like any voice has gone out, but apparently you can hear me. And
Yeah, we can.
I don't know if you're.
And mom and dad are here now too to join the meeting.
Yes, my camera's right.
Oh,
Okay.
where's
I'm
your-
muting.
hi, everybody. It's
Hello.
Mom, Pat Marshall, checking in.
Nice to meet you.
All right, and that's my dad.
All right. Nice to meet you also.
All right, John, you think we're good to keep
I think we're
going?
good. I'll let you
Okay.
go ahead and ask
Okay.
everyone that is not to mute themselves unless they're speaking.
All right, and I just have a few more slides, so I'll just tell you, I think we were back here on the 4-part test for medication. And then when we're looking at medication, here's all of the categories of medication, which are antipsychotics, antidepressants, benzodiazepine, and mood stabilizers. And they all have multiple syllable words that I get to say all the time in court, as well as their trade names. So that is always incredibly fun for me. But just to let you know, this is information about the Jefferson Center for Mental Health, the Colorado Crisis and Support Lines, and anything else you need information about. It's always just good to make sure everybody has that information should it ever been needed. And I'm gonna leave that slide up, but here's how to get a hold of me if you ever do at work. But yeah, I think that's kind of what I do. So is there any questions?
Yes. Did you see the article in the Denver Post this past weekend? I think it was on Sunday, about the number of patients that are being misdiagnosed as having schizophrenia, even though they have dementia, just so that they can get on these, people can force them on these drugs. Are you aware of this?
I did not read that article.
Okay, you should take a look at it. It was
Okay.
kind of amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I will, and I've heard it in the periphery. So yeah, no, that would be very interesting. I will
Yeah.
definitely take a look at that. Thanks, Ed.
Okay.
Megan, how does Jefferson Center for Mental Health relate to you and your hearings? Do they appear? Are they before? They only function before something comes to you, not while it's before you?
No, so I can, if they are the providers, so sometimes when you're on certifications, you can be long or short term. So short term is 90 days, long term is up to 6 months. And so once they discharge from a facility, usually they're with JCMH or some other, comparable like an outpatient. So if they continue on their certification and their doctors through JCMH, I would most likely see them and the county attorney would call them as a witness for their certifications.
Thank you.
Cool. Anybody else?
Well, what type of issues are the most contentious around mental health decisions in the courts?
Medication.
Okay.
With conservatorships, guardianships, that can be a myriad of issues. But yeah, most of the time, the most contentious is medication. And it has to be proven by the underlying certification has to be proven and then an ask for medication. So it's like a 2-tiered approach for mental health certifications.
And so do these the people that are the subject of the situation, do they bring attorneys in or doctors in to advocate on their behalf? Is that a part of that process?
Yes, so the court will automatically appoint them an attorney anytime the certification is brought to us. So they get court-appointed representation, and they also, through their attorney, can ask for separate evaluations and an expert on their own behalf.
Okay.
Megan, is that last slide a Rorschach ink blot test?
It sure is.
So you can tell that I think that's a dragon makes me candidate for your office.
Yeah, I think you
Court.
should come hang out with me, Ron. We might need to have further discussion now.
I think that might be appropriate. Yeah.
See, I thought that was 2 angels.
Well,
I think it's a flying monkey from the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
We might.
I think we all need to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
be careful.
might
Be
need
careful what you say. We may need to appear individually before Megan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill, we are recording this, right?
Yes, we absolutely are,
Fortunately, though, it can be cut.
including everybody's
Makes me
opinion on
think
the
about
Rorschach.
that, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, well, Megan, so how are the funding, are the courts, in your experience, at least in Jefferson County, able to keep up with the demand? I mean, is there enough resources in the judicial system that people can have their day in court, so to speak, in a timely way and everything? What's the kind of condition of the courts in our county?
So at the beginning of the pandemic, we did get cut. We got cut funding. We got our positions reduced. And then this past legislative session, that was in July, we got additional funding. We have an additional CJA, which is a court judicial assistant in probate, because we are anticipating an increase of our cases in Jefferson County. So we did get to recoup a lot of that. They did create my position prior back in January, but it did then ensure I am now full-time in July because of the funding from the state. So I think that they are looking at that issue along with a lot of other things this year. There's been a lot of legislation, a lot of it around juvenile stuff, a lot of the overcrowding at like Children's Hospital and the behavioral and psychiatric wings. Really, kind of shed light on that major situation that's coming out. But right now, I think by and large, the first judicial district is in pretty good shape, and we're anticipating kind of the staff and the manpower that we need. And with these like quick hearings, Roger, I mean, we get them in, you know, we just make sure that they're on our docket and we get ample time to be able to hear them.
Megan, tell us a little bit of what it's like, what a day is like for you. In other words, how many of these hearings, or tell us just a little bit of what it's like minute by minute or hour by hour for you during a day, typical, if there is such a thing.
Yeah, well, so the interesting thing is that a lot of judicial officers have their own courtroom. I do not. So that's a lot of my day is is kind of figuring out where I will be. We have some virtual courtrooms. I did do a lot in person. It has changed. First it was all virtual. I did some in person. Now we're back to public and private areas with masks. So Fridays are my designated courtroom day. So I will usually hear hearings the entire morning, have like a little break for lunch, and the entire afternoons on Fridays. And then certain days I have designated hours in different courtrooms. So that's kind of what it looks like for me. And if there's something contested, we just make sure like we've got half a day or a full day blocked off. But yeah, every day is a little bit different. And besides like just, hearing things and courtroom things, I have like a big judicial inbox. So all the motions, everything like that comes to me. But that's kind of what my day looks like. Usually my parents aren't in my chambers, but they are today. And and my clerk is having his 2-year work anniversary this week. So I think we're going to get burritos. But no, that's just it's kind of how it works. A lot of laptop carrying around to different courtrooms, and and just making sure I'm as prepared as I can be and go through, the whole file and things like that before the hearing. So that's kind of what I do.
If medication is mandated, how do you monitor it or reinforce it? How do you know that's even maintained? I mean, psychotic individuals are tradition. What they do is give up medication. They quit meditation. You can't depend on them maintaining medication.
So usually when I see them, they're in a facility with 24/7 care and a doctor that monitors. And usually
that's the only way. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then once they improve, and really the goal is to not have to be the high, like restrictive level of care. They're always looking for, can they maintain on their own? Can we step them down? Can we make sure they have aftercare? The best, what I see is a, kind of a multi disciplinary approach where they get the social workers, the doctors, everybody in to make sure that they can be cared for after they leave the facility. That's kind of that's the concern as well, if they're only in inpatient treatment for so long.
Okay.
And a lot of them, just to answer your question, Harold, a lot of them are long-acting medications as well. So it's something like if it's in a shot form, it's 1 shot a month. So that makes it a little easier, especially when people don't have the stability. They don't have proper housing. They can, like there are some different avenues that hopefully can address the ongoing needs for them. But yeah, it's always a concern that they can be provided for after inpatient for sure.
And so the funding for your courts is this just part of the overall general Jefferson County budget?
It is. Mm-hmm.
So like you said, things got cut. That was because the money coming into the county through taxes was decreasing.
Yeah, and we're state, so, and that's a big thing. It's interesting because the county owns our building, but we're state employees inside of it. So that's always an interesting dichotomy as well.
Okay. You like your job?
I do, yeah. Yeah, it's different to work full time, but yeah. Or for other people, not myself. So, that's interesting too.
Nice.
But It's definitely been fun and never boring. I can say that.
Yeah.
Oh, because you're dealing with somebody's medical situation, are these hearings and so forth, are they closed to the public to be able to maintain medical privacy?
They are. And all of our mental health are going to remain virtual so that the respondents can appear by video. I can see them and I don't have to transport them, because if they were to be transported, they do have to follow policy of a sheriff's transportation where they handcuff them and things like that. So I can avoid that whole procedure right now, and that's my preference. But yeah, they're closed hearings.
No, it's very interesting. I've had, because of my brother, when he was murdered, I got involved in some things with the mental health thing. Not for me necessarily, although I certainly took advantage of some stuff through work since my brother was murdered and all that. We had all these trial things and went on with that. But my nephew was involved in the whole thing, so it got to be a little bit of a family deal. And it was very interesting how that all worked out. So it's nice to, it's interesting to see the other side of it, that you don't really see when you're on the receiving end. So anyway, well, very, very good. Thank you, Megan, for sharing all that.
Yeah, thanks, John. I'm sorry you had to go through all that. That seems.
Yeah, it was an interesting, actually, it really has continued, unfortunately, with the, because both boys involved, my nephew and the other kid were under 18. And so when the law changed, there was continued, they'd already been getting, new trials every so often anyway. And so we had to go through all that. So it kind of continued on for a long time until just recently. In theory, it's over with, but we'll see how that goes. I don't believe it necessarily, but we'll see how it turns out. So interesting stuff. That's very good to get a good look at that other side of this whole process. So anybody else have any other kind of questions or anything, or are we all done?
Bill Hunter here. I have a question. Does Mike Levchick still belong to the club? Has anybody communicated with him?
As of right now, yes. And we have sent him a letter, and we're in the process of communicating with him and finding out what's going on.
The reason
we'll know more.
The reason I ask is we have in the bank for the Juarez project almost $5,000, and it's been that way for a number of years without being added to or withdrawn from. So I'm just wondering if Mike has contributed any money to that project, and apparently he hasn't. So what I could do is call the folks in Juarez and see what's going on from their standpoint. But you say Mike, as far as you guys know, is still active in the club.
Yes.
Yep.
We've got inquiries going out to him.
Mike is still active. He showed up at the peach sale a couple of weeks ago, and he collected 10 unsold boxes of peaches and sold them within about 2 hours.
Yes. Okay. Yep. So he's still active. We just need to find out what's going on with him, and we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out, and then we'll figure out what we need to do to fix it.
I can call both Mike and the folk in Juarez to see what's going on, because as I say, that amount has been there without change for quite a while.
Okay. So you think that then maybe we haven't
But
Done
my guess
anything
is that
recently.
they have continued on their own for those years.
Yeah. Okay. I think we'll know more, maybe even by next week. Part of that anyway.
Okay.
All right. I guess, do we have anything else?
Well, Ron Kintz was here for a while and he's got technical oh, there he is. He can't talk. So he's wanted me to pass along, be his speaker for him, that he's here, but his microphone is on the fritz, so he can't contribute. All he can do is watch. And actually, Ron, I think that's fine. You know, we're glad you're well, I guess I didn't come out quite the way I meant. What I meant was, I was glad that just because you're having some technical difficulty, you didn't go away altogether, that you're here participating and got to hear what Megan's got to say and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I hope you have your microphone fixed by next meeting.
There you go. And also, otherwise, could you learn sign language? And the rest of us we don't know what you mean, but we'll enjoy
Same
it.
to
Or you
you.
could call in like Linda and Dan did.
Yeah, you could always call in on the phone too, like you did. So,
Who is that, Roger?
Ron Kintz has, his microphone is not working, so we can't hear him.
yeah, his microphone's broke.
Have you guys heard that Stan Joy has gone to Greeley?
Yep, he has.
Okay.
Has, in the conversations you folks have had with Stan,
Yes.
has him transferring to a Rotary Club up, has that been part of the conversation at all?
Yeah, he plans to do that. He's still settling in at this moment.
Okay.
All right.
Where did he move to?
Greeley.
Greeley.
Does he have
Okay.
family up there?
Yeah, I think a daughter or someone, yeah. And it's a senior facility that he's living in now.
Okay, I'll get in touch because we need to coordinate that membership transfer. I'll give Stan a call and talk to him. Great.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you. Anybody else? Any,
You know, with regard to Stan, you know, he so faithfully, at least in my first couple of years of when I joined this club, was he the secretary? I mean, he maintained the box with the badges. He, you know, helped with the check-in and set up and take down of, you know, the before and after the meeting. You know, I think it would be appropriate for us to recognize that somehow.
Okay.
As officially as the club, as a club.
would you think we should get him a plaque to say thank you, or?
How well,
Something-
does anyone know how long Stan was a member?
I was just going through that list, but he was a member of other clubs before he joined our club. So
Okay.
I'll check on it. I think he joined our club in the 80s, 1980s sometime, but
That's pretty long time.
it is a pretty long time, but his history in Rotary is much longer. So
So
Wow.
what was his official position?
he was secretary of the club for a long time.
Secretary, okay. So so anyway, yeah, that'd be I would suggest that a plaque or something of appreciation for him.
Wasn't he also one of the ones who would lead us all in song along with Ron?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, when Ron had the microphone. Unfortunately, he can't hear that, but that's okay.
Oh, Ron can
He
hear
can
it.
hear it, he
hear it,
just
he
can't
can't
say
talk to
it.
He can't speak.
He's
We're having
keeping his
fun
own
at your-
counsel.
We're having fun at your expense, Ron. You feel good?
He's gonna reply on a piece of paper and hold it up to the camera.
Hopefully it's nothing else he holds up. Yeah,
Uh-huh,
No
Okay,
digits.
that's right.
well, I think I think we've gotten all of our business done with so far. that We need to.
What's the plans for next week, John?
Next week, we're going to continue with the Zoom. And I'm going to talk with Denny's about continuing our vacancy till the beginning of next month. And then we'll, there it is.
Waiting.
Ann is
Wow.
recuperating new knee. Ann has a new knee.
Yeah, good.
Outstanding.
Good luck for her. Yeah, she
Yeah.
looks to be outstanding.
I don't
That's
doubt
right.
that.
Upstanding.
Yes, it's a good idea. Yeah, you really need, she really is going to have fun with the recuperation. I have 2 artificial hips, so it's not as much fun as the knee, I take it, from people that I know that have the knee replacements. They're more fun as far as pain and a lot of work, but anyway. What is he doing? Oh,
There she is.
Oh, there she is.
Hey, hi.
Hello.
Hi, Ann.
Good to
Good
see
luck
you.
in
Hi.
your rehab.
All right. Okay, so everybody, I guess the last thing I'll say is keep my wife Carol in your prayers.
Yeah.
She goes in for an operation tomorrow. I'll be at Swedish all day, and hopefully everything's going to turn out well, and we'll be out of there in time for lunch or something. We'll see. I doubt that. I'm not a fan of hospitals, so it's not something I'm looking forward to. But hopefully it'll all be a good deal.
Things will go well.
Yeah, things
Yes.
will go well and everything will be squared away, and we'll just kind of continue on and all that fun stuff. So keep her in your prayers if you would, and hopefully
You got
everybody
'em.
has a good rest of the week. And we'll see you next Monday, same
Monday.
bat station, right?
4-way test.
Oh yeah, the 4-way test. What do they do?
Wonderful.
Oh, the things we say. Where did I put my test? Oh, anyways, everybody gets to help out. The
Okay.
things
Is it
I
the
s-
truth?
Is the truth?
Is it
Is
fair?
it fair to all
All
concerned?
concerned.
Will it build
Better
goodwill and better
better
friendships?
Better friendships.
Will it
Will it be
be
beneficial to all
all
concerned?
concerned? And
Will
the
it be
best.
Will it be fun?
It'll be fun.
All
Okay,
right.
everybody have a good week. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you
Bye.
soon.
Okay.
It was good to
Okay.
see everybody again.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
Carol.
Adios.
Get healthy
adios,
there.
schlafen Sie
Yeah.
gut.
Get better, Carol.
Thank you.
Wiedersehen.
Adios.
Was that? Thanks, Bill. Okay, we're cutting this off here. Here we go.